Ricky, you said you wanted to see a response from the boys, and you saw that today.
Yeah, we're just talking in the change rooms. You know, the guys need to be immensely proud of what they've achieved today as a group. You know, to come out and to put the scoreline that we did on a young Cardiff side, I think was really pleasing. And we talked in the week about coming out and showing what characters it is to be a chief, and I think everyone did today. And the pleasing thing was at the end, to have like 14 academy guys on the pitch and finishing strongly was a massive credit to that group that they did so well.
The first few minutes didn't quite go to plan, but after that you probably scrubbed that out, that first few, and go from there.
Yeah, we had a mixture of some young guys there. We talked in the week about looking at running exits, but we had to make good decisions around that, and I think we just got caught into just playing. And we didn't realise that that Cardiff were going to fly and put pressure on us. And the most pleasing thing from that was though that they didn't let it affect them. They parked it, they moved on, and then as the game got on, they got stronger and stronger. So we had a bit of a wobble, 20 minutes into the second half, where we just sort of started making a few little errors here and there, but they just kept coming back, and to score the amount of tries we did was really pleasing, and full credit to the group.
You've seen in recent weeks the emergence of Jack Morland, but today we saw Joe Simmons, and probably the benefits of him going out and playing senior rugby.
Yeah, I think any player that young, in a young age needs to be playing, and I think for him to be playing down at Plymouth is a massive tool for him in terms of his development, and for any player, whether they're going down to Pirates, or to Taunton, on that side of it. So Joe's coming through now. He's been playing well the last couple of weeks, and obviously he showed today that game time week in week out, he's now transferred into putting it on in an extra shirt. So he had a really good game. I thought his brother backed him up well in the back row, and we got to move him out onto the wing to have a look at him there, and I think he was solid there as well. So the Simmons brothers both played really well today. As
someone who's worked so much with the academy though, seeing that many players at the end that have had links through what you call your branch off colleges, and that must be hugely pleasing.
Well, if Billy Key started the game, Jack Owlett obviously came from the university, they're young props, playing their first game for the club, so that was pleasing for them and for us. And Marcus Street, to come on at 18 years of age into a senior game of rugby, Sam Morton and Rob Gibson will be very proud today to see him on the pitch. And from that perspective, this competition is brilliant, and we look at this competition to develop those younger players, and to have 14 players from the 15 be an academy for that last sort of 20 minutes is what the competition's about, with obviously a sprinkling of those senior players as well.
And it's put you right back in the mix. You said you didn't really want to worry too much about last week's result as long as you banged in a performance tonight.
Yeah, we looked at last week, we created a lot of opportunities, just couldn't finish them off, and today we created them and we actually finished them. So to get a foothold back in this competition is massively important. We can now drop back into the Premiership with a bit of a spring in our tails. I think the players obviously outside of the squad were all there today, and we'd have seen that, and that would have lifted them as well. So when we come back into training tomorrow and build into Newcastle, I think it's going to be a real buzz around the club. So from that perspective, it's been really good.
We talked about the young players there, but the senior guys, as you say, stepped up. People like Damien Welsh, Ben White, Tom Johnson, they were all there as well, and they've probably given a few headaches for selection next week.
Yeah, they have. I think they have the last couple of weeks, even the guys that played last week from that senior squad, put their hands up for selection. And I think what's pleasing with the older players, when they come into this group, they don't see it as a bit of a chore to look after the younger guys. They really take onus on it, and guys like TJ and Welshie, and Ben White, just to say a few names there, they really help those younger guys, and they'll learn so much from playing with an England international, and guys that have had 30, 40, 50 caps in the Premiership. So from that young perspective, they get that opportunity, but also those older guys get a real chance to knock on the door for selection come Newcastle next week.
Great.